We're back, November 20th, the day we cash. That's what we're banking on here. We got Joe's here, John's here. How we doing, fellas?
It's great. I'm moving a little slow this morning. Haven't fully I don't think I have a great handle on the slate, but that's why we're here to talk things through and get everything solved here over the next 45 minutes to an hour.
Well, I
Exactly,
don't,
Joe. How are you feeling?
I don't think we're going to be able to help you because I'm in the same boat, and yeah, it's been a fun morning so far. So
Yeah, I got nothing. I was telling John right before we went live, like it's been so dark for me this season that I was like, you know what, maybe we'll fire up FanDuel, see if that mixes it up a little bit. Which is so funny because this is an instant L for me because I don't play on FanDuel, so I have no idea strategy, anything. So it's like we're just punting, we're just punting. Excited to dive into it though. Let's get a feel for it. If you guys are here, I see Sneeps, Fenny's here, Hickey, Blazemore, Jump Shooty. We got the World Cup's kicking off right now, which is pretty exciting.
That's right.
So that'll be we're only one match today, but we get a bunch tomorrow. But might be a little bit of abbreviated show today. We're gonna just grind through this slate. So, John, I don't know. Do you want to share screen, pull up like what the spreadsheets are telling us to do today?
Yeah, let's do it. I think the biggest thing that the spreadsheets are saying and optos and everything are it's looking like a two tight end week across the board here, I think. And I've been playing a lot of two tight ends, which sucks. But the reason why is let me get down to the receivers here, but there's just no good receivers that are like cheap really this week. I mean, even like Paris Campbell's the most popular guy at 4,300. And he's projecting all right, but that doesn't really make you want to jump out of bed in the morning and jam some Paris Campbell lineups. So and then
I mean,
you've got like
I understand Paris Campbell for like cash game because there's nothing, but man, for GPP coming into that ownership, just like give me Alec Pierce, baby. There's the take for the day. Let's pivot to Pierce.
yeah, totally. So anyways, like mid fours is like the best receiver value you're gonna get unless you want to play like Kendall Hinton, who I think played quarterback for a game for the Broncos last year, right?
yeah,
Is that what it was?
yep.
So that's a good. I mean, he's a dual threat guy, so you never maybe fire him in. But then you look at the tight end range here, and we've got we've got a lot of guys in the blue, which on my sheets is a good thing. And all those guys, a bunch of guys under 4K, which are projecting well, and a lot better than and even the ceiling on these guys. That's this column over here. The ceiling's projecting well also. So, I mean, yeah, I don't know. What's your guys' take on the double tight end? Have you been doing any? Have you been staying away from it? Where are you at?
Joe, you go.
Yeah, I mean, we did it last week, and it sort of worked, and depended what side of the 2v2 you were on, but I think, yeah, there's just no value at wide receiver this week, so I think it's the way to go. Although right now I currently don't have two tight ends in my lineup, but I'll probably switch that around. I do have a question for Mike, though.
Yeah.
As the resident Patriots fan.
Lock and load Hunter Henry. Is that what we're saying?
No. What's the take on Ramondre? Because, like, ETR doesn't have him projected very well, but I see other sites, he's popping up in optimals all over. So I don't know what the.
I think Ramondre is so clearly the best back that they have, and they've been using him a little bit more frequently. But that is the Belichick way. Is like the second you feel like you got a handle on the back, he's like, "What if we just jam Harris down the throat?" Or Mac throws it like 50 times today. So I'm not. That's one of those things where, like, if it fits for you, I think that's fine. Like, I can't imagine Ramondre's having a bad game. I just don't know if he's having a ceiling game.
Yeah, I don't know. It's funny. I run these like this is from Rotoviz. These columns, it's like a game level simulation thing, and I'm seeing like 30% that Ramondre has a 5x game, which is pretty big relative to all the. I mean, it's the best running backs on the slate. So I don't know. I don't really usually go by this that much. I just have it in there to provide me some context for ceiling outcomes, but that's definitely something. That's definitely something worth talking about. I mean, the other running back that I think is interesting as a pivot from the chalk is Kenyon Drake, who it sounds like Gus Edwards is going to be active but not play a bunch. I think is the latest report. And so I think that, obviously against the Panthers, the Ravens should pretty much crush them. And so Drake should be kind of the lead back there. And so I really like Drake as a pivot off of Montgomery. ETR's got him projected for 7% ownership. So I don't know if he is going to come in maybe a little bit higher as people. He is popping up in a lot of the ceiling optimals. So I think he may get jammed in a little bit more. But I mean, nobody's been talking about Drake before this morning, so I think that could be a little bit of a good GPP play in my mind.
Where you coming in on some Drake talk, Joe?
Yeah, I'm seeing that Gus Edwards is unlikely to play now from Ian Rappaport. So,
Okay.
I do think he'll catch some steam this morning. How high? I don't think it'll get out of control, but
Yeah,
fits,
well,
I
and the
like it.
thing is, like, he's not projecting as a crazy screaming value. Like, it's pretty good. And so, typically, what happens on the morning of news is those guys just don't get steamed as high as they should, if they're not if they're not like a crazy value, right? Like if all of a sudden, like, I don't know, so some running back, like, you know lost his ankle or something, and then backup would get steamed up a bunch. But like this Drake, who's like still in that mid tier, I think his projections bump a little bit. But I don't know. I
The,
just feel like the late
the
news never catches up enough.
the only reason I could see it getting steamed a little bit is because of the two popular guys around that price tag. Everyone hates playing, right? So before this news with Drake, people were reluctantly like, well, yeah, I hate David Montgomery, but I'm playing David Montgomery. Or I hate Devin Singletary, but I'm playing Devin Singletary. And I could see them, I could see people just being like, well, this is a GPP play, and it's an excuse to get off of someone you hate anyways. I mean, that's totally just spitballing. Like, I have nothing to back that up, except for, I know for me, I'm playing Dave Montgomery and it pisses me off. So like the second you said Drake in our Discord chat, I was like, lock Drake in, dude. Like instant pivot. So I don't know.
Yeah, well, it's just a nut matchup for Drake too, because they're favored by like freaking 13.5 or something, or 8.5, or I don't know, whatever it is. It's a big spread. So yeah, they should dominate on the ground, I think. And then, like, obviously the Ravens don't have any receivers. Andrews should be back this week, but how healthy is he going to be? So I think it would make sense for them to lean on the run game quite a bit.
What do
Okay,
you
so
oh,
go
sorry,
ahead.
go ahead. No, I was gonna ask.
No.
What do you think about Tony Pollard there? Because I know
Yeah.
there's some news that Zeke is back, but that it seems like Pollard's gonna maintain that like lead rollback, and it's in an environment that people are jacked up to play. And I don't know how popular Pollard's gonna be, while CeeDee Lamb is gonna be crazy chalky.
Yeah, I think Pollard's interesting. I haven't really messed around with him much, but I might try to get him into a DAC lineup or two. I was building a couple DAC lineups before this. And I think if you get Pollard in, like, you definitely want to have it with a Viking, probably like a Justin Jefferson, right? So like you're kind of it like, yes, they, whoever came out and said, I don't even recognize the name of who said he's going to get more carries, but it just popped up on Underdog, that he's going to get more carries than Zeke. But it's like, okay, I mean, that's fine, but still Zeke's in there, so it's still like, a knock against him. But if they get into a case where, the Vikings score a couple quick touchdowns early, and then they're gonna have to lean into, Pollard a little bit more than Zeke in the passing game and kind of in the catch-up mode, then I think it could be a little bit more viable. So I think it's good. But then it's same thing as, like, if I'm playing Pollard, like, and they're in catch-up mode, then I probably want to play CD too. So like, I don't know how great, like, as just like a straight up leverage piece Pollard is.
That's a good point. I mean, I guess like the case could be made that you're like, yeah, the way to differentiate playing CD is playing Pollard.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
no, I feel
I think
that.
if like, if or you could just play it that like Pollard gets the touchdowns and CD doesn't, or whatever, or play like Pollard and Schultz or something. But it just seems like in order for Pollard to really get cooking, they were going to want to play from behind. And if they're playing from behind, then I really want CD.
Kirk double with Pollard coming back. I mean, I'm sorry, Dak double. Maybe Dak double. Excuse me. Go
Dak
Dak,
double.
CD, and Pollard.
Yeah, I don't hate that. I might try some of those. So then the decision point this week is like the high end, right? And like so Saquon Barkley is pretty much head and shoulders above the running back group this week. He's at 8,900, Jonathan Taylor's at 7,800.
Mhm.
And then, in the middle there's Dalvin Cook and Nick Chubb, who like Dalvin Cook like kind of always seems to like score pretty well, but like it never really matters at his price tag. And then like Nick Chubb never projects well, and then like some games he'll drop a 40 bomb, and other games it won't matter. So I think it's kind of like a Saquon decision in cash for sure. It's like, do you want to try to get Saquon? Do you want to try to get to Diggs? Do you want to try to get to both? And so I don't know, Joe, where's your head at on Saquon Diggs discussion?
Yeah, right now I'm on Diggs, but I don't know if you can go wrong there. I guess I just feel better about the cheaper running backs.
Yeah.
I won't say I feel good, but I feel a little bit better than the cheaper wide receivers. So right now I got Diggs in there, but I'm trying to see if I can get both in. It's not looking great, but
Yeah. I think in order to get both in, you gotta hope that like Kendall Hinton is gonna play and be healthy and play out wide, and or yeah, I don't know. It's just you're getting pretty thin to play both. And like I feel like in cash, like Allen's pretty much a lock, and so
yeah,
just because he's only like isn't it 700 more than Fields or 900 more than Fields or
900,
something, which is like, I don't know. I'm just gonna play Allen and figure out the 900
Right.
elsewhere. And so if you're playing Allen, then I don't know if you necessarily have to play Diggs in cash for sure, because I don't know, theoretically you should get some of those points there, but then if a lot of people are playing Diggs, like, and Diggs has a pretty good chance to bury you, where I don't know if Saquon necessarily does at his tag. So that's where that's where I get a little bit nervous, is like I feel like Diggs, if you're not on Diggs and everybody is, I'd be a little bit more nervous than if I am on Barkley and everybody, if I'm off Barkley and everybody is on him. What do you guys think about some of the high price running backs this week? So like this little tier here of Taylor, Kamara, Jacobs, Mixon. Like, I don't know if you guys have built around more this morning, but like it seems kind of hard to get to those guys
Yeah.
in tournaments and like good tournament lineups. And so I'm wondering if like the ownership comes in a little bit lower on those guys than what's projecting.
That's what I was going to say. That feels a little bit high. Some of that ownership feels a little bit high, but the one that stood out to me the most was Mixon, and I wasn't really on Mixon until you were talking a little bit offline about Burrow's stacks, and then I was reminded about that weekend where he scored 75 touchdowns, and with Higgins and Mixon being clearly like the two guys, that stood out to me a little bit.
Yeah, I saw something on, I think like OWS or whatever, that like since Chase has gone down, like 85% of the yards that the Bengals have gone through like Mixon, Hurst, and Higgins and
Yeah.
Boyd or something, just like those four guys. And so like that's something that you always like, their team total is pretty low this week. I mean, it's a pretty low game. I think the total in the game's only like 40, so the Bengals aren't projecting super well, but anytime that you can get like kind of like a confirmed condensed offense, like I don't know, I think it's just somewhere you want to try to attack. So what about Taylor, man? I feel like Taylor has the ability to kind of bury you this week.
Yeah, I think we might be going there in our lineup today.
Ooh,
I like it. I like that.
I was messaging Mike last night, and I think we like the Eagles today. So we like JT run back. But of course, I don't know if you watch Establish the Millions, they flag planted the two guys I wanted to stack for the Eagles, but I still think it's fine. But
I do like that. There is something about the idea of playing, like, I know, well, I guess we can start talking about the Eagles a little bit. The people are probably out on Philly after the offensive performance that we saw from Washington, and they're expensive. Those are expensive guys, and like if you plugged in AJ, Hurts, and Taylor, I mean that's a big chunk of salary. But I mean, if that game does get going, I like it. I mean, the last time we saw AJ Brown get, what was it, like double-digit targets. He put up 400 points or something. So,
yeah.
I
It was a 3 touchdown game, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and
Yeah,
the
I
thing from
mean-
the Monday night game too, they just never had the ball.
Right.
So obviously, if we're playing JT, we're hoping for long runs,
Mhm.
Yeah.
or even if I think JT is going to catch a bunch of passes if they're down too. That's the other part. They have no one else back there, so
It's true.
he's good either way.
Yeah. I don't know. It feels like such a risky thing here with AJ Brown of like, I feel like you're really hoping that a lot of things go right where like Diggs doesn't play well and CD doesn't play well, right? Because like it's kind of hard to get both like two of these kind of players in a lineup. And so,
Yeah.
but I do think a lot of we're projecting like, I don't know, what is this, 70% or not, ETR's projection 70% of lineups are going to have like one of these guys. So that's like pretty much the whole field. And if you include Jefferson, I mean, that's basically everybody. So then if you look at that, like your AJ Brown needs to do better than Diggs and Lamb, right? And probably
Jefferson.
Amon-Ra, even though I'm not as worried as Amon-Ra. I mean, Jefferson, you could probably make it up with $1,000 somewhere.
Okay, yeah.
But like, yeah, I mean, it definitely has to be better than Diggs and Lamb. And so then if you're gonna play Hurts lineups with AJ Brown, and like you said, you're spending a bunch of money, then I think you want to try to play it into a game where Diggs and Lamb fail, right? So either like playing a Devin Singletary and hoping they get a bunch of touchdowns, playing a Pollard, or just playing like Gabe Davis, Michael Gallup, Schultz, like some of those guys. I think you really want to play like, you don't just want to like not think about those games. You want to like figure out how to leverage off of Diggs and Lamb.
Yeah. The Diggs, like speaking about Diggs leverage, I mean we already saw Singletary is pretty popular, but the Gabe Davis angle I really like. And I'm not sure what his salary is on DraftKings, but that, to me, that's like the sexiest way to get off of that.
Yeah, Gabe Davis is right here at 6,300. And it's, yeah, I mean, it's not amazing projection at all. But I mean, obviously Gabe Davis is like a Nick Chubb, right? They never project well, but he can score 40 points. I think so. Yeah, I like that a lot. Let's start messing around here. I'm down to check out a Hurts lineup here.
Yeah, let's check out a Hurts one, and why don't we, if it's okay with you guys, let's try one with Taylor, but also let's take a look at one with. I know I fired that Pierce take out there, but Pierce or even Pittman. Like I feel like I would.
Yeah.
And I just don't want to buy into a chalky Paris Campbell. Like that seems stupid.
No, I don't think you can play Paris Campbell at 4,300 or whatever. What is Pittman? Pittman's actually projecting pretty well, so
yeah, he's only 61. It's not bad.
Yeah, maybe we fire that in.
Joe, were you going to say something too, as we were when I said the Pierce or?
I mean, the Pierce play. I mean, it's hard to say, but it kind of reminds me of the Christian Watson play from last week, where he's just cheap and no one else was projecting well.
Get 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. No, I mean,
lock and load.
He's just a talented rookie that if things break right, he could have a pretty big game, and no one's going to play him. So I don't mind it. There's worse plays for sure.
And what's his price point?
Yeah, I don't even know.
Like 4.
I don't even know if he's on my fucking spreadsheets.
He's not on the slate. DraftKings was like, nah, leave him
3,900.
Oh,
I
yes.
think I just X'd him out, but yeah, that's a nice price point. If we're doing it, like if we're doing this, so let's throw him in here.
Are you throwing him in with Taylor? Oh, I see.
No. I was just got to get him locked and loaded in here. Okay, so this is the problem with Taylor lineups is if we play Gabe Davis, who we could play Gabe Davis. The other thing that's like really cheeky in this lineup is that I've been messing around a little bit. This is going Isaiah McKenzie instead of Paris Campbell. So a lot of people are going to play Campbell in this lineup at 4,300, right? And so because right now we only have 4,300 left, and so that means like if we're going to play a 6K running back, then we're like Kendall Hinton and fucking I don't know Logan Thomas or something like like we're pretty much like dead kind of. So if we play Isaiah McKenzie instead and just hope that he has a freaking melt your face off game for the Bills and takes away all the Josh Allen. I mean, we don't have to play Dalton Schultz. I just put it in there as CeeDee Lamb leverage too, but that gives us like a little bit more to work around with. And then I guess we should probably figure out running back here. So we could toss in our guy Kenyon Drake.
Yeah, I'm good with Drake. What were you gonna say, Joe?
Personally, if we're doing a Hurts, AJ Brown, I would just throw one of those cheap Eagles tight ends in there. Like you hope they catch one touchdown pass, and and if this is single entry, smaller field, right? It's like obviously you don't want to take a 0, but I don't think a 0 kills you from a min price tight end.
Right.
Like if the rest of your lineup goes nuts, you're.
Are these the two that we're figuring out? Jack Stoll and Grant Cal. What the fuck?
Calcaterra.
Calcaterra, dude. Lock in Calcaterra.
I know everyone's talking about him being the pass catcher. I don't love it, but I just think it makes sense for.
You might not love it, but I absolutely love it.
Okay, wait. Let's see what Dalton Schultz does here, just to give us leverage off CD. So that leaves us with 6,400 then. At receiver, which is kind of fucking no man's land.
So you could do Cooper.
Yeah, Cooper and McKenzie.
Yeah, little mini core.
Oh man, 61% ownership, man. We didn't
even have to build the other one.
Yeah, this is not projected well either. But that's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay.
I honestly don't know if that. I mean, I love projections and everything, but this week is just.
I
know.
I don't know if it matters, honestly. It's just
correlate. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, so Calcaterra. Okay, whatever. We'll keep messing around. Let's go down here to this one, and then this one I think we could probably fit in Gabe Davis. Let's try to figure out running back first before we go to
running back sucks, dude. Because I feel like we are. Like, I guess Drake is going to be our pivot off of Montgomery, but I hate Montgomery, and it feels hard not to play Montgomery.
So I have a gross one.
Yes.
Which is just really how the day is going, but I kind of want to wait 10 minutes or so and see the inactives for the Falcons, but if they only have 3 running backs, maybe that's better for Patterson.
Patterson scores every single week.
So he came back from the IR 2 weeks ago. He had 2 touchdowns. He didn't have that many touches, so it wasn't great. But then they played on a short week. You could make that excuse for why he didn't get that many touches. And now they had a mini bye. And, I mean, that game's projected as one of the highest over-under games of the week, which is weird. Yeah. But, I don't think anyone's playing him.
Nobody is going to play him for sure.
And he doesn't project well at all, but
I was actually going to go Tyler Algier.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. But I love Patterson because he scores every week.
We're just out of money here, so let's see.
Algier 49. Wow.
Then we play. I don't know. I just keep throwing the Raiders in here because the Broncos suck. And then we've got 3,400 total. So we're playing double tight end here. For sure. So then we could try Algier instead. God, these are gross. Then we're at 4K. So, what's a good way to do tight end here? Anything fun with tight end?
Do we play the other Philly tight end?
All right, let's just Grant, our guy Grant, Cal, whatever the fuck.
It's not like we're playing both of these lineups anyway, so I don't hate going right back to Grant there. And then what does that leave us with?
Got 56, which is like
Thielen,
Toby Myers, Adam Thielen.
What's Thielen's ownership looking like?
8%. Oh God, this one projects less ownership and less projections. So I think we gotta keep iterating here. I'm gonna nuke this one and we're gonna start fresh here. So
we don't have to do a Hurts stack. The last couple of weeks we were playing not great quarterbacks, I guess we could say.
Well,
Which-
I'm glad you brought that up because I was just about to say, what are our thoughts on that Atlanta game, and do we want to stack up Mariota?
No.
All right,
Like
good
I'm fine
talk,
with
guys.
I'm fine with Burrow. I mean it's a low total, but I kind
Um,
of see the angle there. I mean,
Hmm.
I think we could get to something here with our guy Pierce. So I'm just gonna keep throwing in Kenyon Drake because he kind of makes a lot of things work.
Oh yeah, I like
and
Kenny Drew. I'm
then
I'm good with that call. Also,
Raiders
one
here.
other thought here while you're plugging that in. What do you, like? Andrews is back, right? And is is anyone going to play Lamar?
probably not.
I read something somewhere of like Lamar needs to be pushed to have good games, right? And it's like
Okay.
the Panthers might score like 8 points, 6 points, so.
That's a good counter.
Yeah.
Okay, we're kind of cooking with something here now. If we throw in Singletary, which is, I know it's gross, but also like it's pretty. If we're playing Brown, that's pretty good leverage off of Diggs. We just need Singletary to score the touchdowns, and then we've got 6,600. So we could we could fit in CD maybe. Let's see. Does that get us anything good? 5,700. I feel like there's somebody in there 5,700 range.
What was Thielen again?
Thielen's 55, so there you go.
Yeah,
You got a little mini
correlation,
there.
baby.
I mean, that's still not projecting well for some reason, but I mean, it looks better. It's just because AJ Brown, I don't think projects.
I know it's definitely AJ Brown. And Paul's saying like, could you just go to Devontae instead of AJ? You could, but I'm pretty sure Devontae's ownership's way higher, right? Because of that, because everyone's running into that same thing.
Yeah.
Where is Devontae this week? Oh, here we go. It's not that much higher. It's only 6,200. But I mean, that could be what's that? Oh,
What's
his
his
ownership
ownership?
7%.
Oh, it's 7. I thought it was gonna be a lot higher.
So we could try that. So let's try to build that with I don't know, one of the good guys.
All right, I'm down. I'm down to mess around with that.
Then you're kind of playing like I like to do that sometimes. Where like I built a couple Allens and I like took out Diggs and put in like Jefferson instead, or put in like CD instead, where you just like hope the touchdowns go to one of the shittier receivers and then pray that you get leverage off of another stud receiver. So if we do this, Devontae Smith and Alec Pierce, which I even though Pierce doesn't project good at all, like it's great leverage off Campbell. It's 4K, which who cares? Like everybody sucks at 4K this week,
right?
And then we're just hoping Cal Satera makes just something happen,
runs around,
catches a ball or two. Yeah, at least runs a couple routes.
Can I throw one other gross running back at us too?
Yeah,
just to talk about.
Bring it in, bring him in,
dude. So I know he's been like bad and like pretty inefficient, but Brian Robinson is playing Houston.
Yeah.
And I forget. I don't remember the number.
But on Gibson still, I don't.
Well, because Gibson's just looked he's looked more efficient. But didn't Robinson get like 20+ carries last week?
Yep.
I think Robinson did have more of the action last week. And I think if we were gonna play Robinson, we want to assume that they're gonna have the lead, right? Because if they're behind, then Gibson's gonna play more. Is that kind of what?
I would think so.
Which, I mean, why wouldn't they have the lead, right?
I like the Texans today +3.
Oh no!
Look at that.
I mean, not oh no. I like
this does though. I mean,
but that could just be a backdoor cover. I mean, Texans could trail. So then I heard this name. How much do we have left?
7,800 left total for 2.
Everyone used to love Brandon Cooks.
Ooh,
no one's playing him.
Cooks Robinson correlation? Is this lineup getting grosser by the second?
I think we are making it grosser. I don't know.
Yeah. Are we trying to get single digit ownership total?
Also single digit projection.
Now we got 10K left. So
10K?
Perfect.
Well, no, you know what? But is there a spend up that we are kind of jacked up about? Because I would also love to get off the chalky Raiders defense.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I would just play Saquon probably, or
Like Saquon doesn't kill you this week.
or
And
what?
you just play. I don't even know who's up there. So. This is gross too.
Yeah, I feel bad.
Patriots, baby.
Yeah, there you go.
I do like the Patriots defense today.
Oh man, we are spending real money on this stuff. Okay, let's see. Let's try this again. I don't like this at all.
What if you went up from Pierce to Pittman? And then
it's weird though because Pierce we've already decided was going to score 3 touchdowns today.
True.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Okay, yeah, we're back to Pierce. Sorry. Let's play about a running back then. Fucking Robinson.
Excuse me, what'd you say?
Better running back than Robinson.
All right. Good luck.
Joe Mixon.
Yeah.
All right, I like that. I'm back
Muth.
Love Fryer
9,200. Justin Jefferson.
Did you guys see anything about Justin Jefferson stubbing his toe or something? Turf toe?
Yeah, he's got turf toe, but apparently it's not going to hold him back. He said.
Oh, that's brave.
From his mouth, words from his mouth said he's not going to hold him back. So this is a little bit better. This is projecting better. It's our best lineup so far. I don't know if a naked Jefferson does a whole lot for us in this game but we could do no, we can't do that. Fuck, man. This sucks.
Honestly, this is the most confident I felt going in because of how bad this feels. Like the last couple of weeks, we've been like, "Well, we finally unlocked it."
Yeah. That's true. We could just freaking fall onto something here.
Yeah.
Who else should we? Let's try a little Josh Allen.
I was gonna say
lineup with Gabe Davis.
Okay, yeah, Josh Allen, Gabe Davis, throwing McKenzie too. Let's get weird.
Yeah.
Because everyone's going to be going Allen, Diggs, Knox, right? That's like the easiest one. Weisberg said, just tuned in. The first thing I hear is JBB saying, fuck, man, this sucks. Also, Fenny for the last hour has just been saying we got to get Jamal Williams in there. How are we feeling about Jamal Williams?
I mean, I'm fine. I think that game's probably going to be a little bit slept on. But it's like, what the hell is going on with DeAndre Swift? Like, is he going to play one of these weeks? Like, actual touches, or like, I just don't understand what's going on there. So, I mean, I'm sure like Jamal Williams probably will score a touchdown or two this week just because that's what he does every week. But it's like, I don't know. Is it a good play? Is it like at $6K? It just doesn't feel like a great play. Like if he was like maybe $400 or $500 cheaper.
Yeah,
it makes me nervous.
It makes me nervous when there's a better running back that all of a sudden could come out and play.
On your team. Yeah. Okay, so now we could throw in our guy Brian Robinson.
Finally.
And then if we play a shitty tight end here, we could be cooking with something.
Brian Robinson, Kenyon Drake, Isaiah McKenzie in the same lineup.
What a this CeeDee Lamb, PJ Hawkinson. Nobody's going to pay up at tight end this week.
There you go. There's some leverage in that game.
And then Dalton Schultz just freaking hammer this game. Expensive double tight end. I don't know.
Feels better than 2 cheap tight ends, that's for sure. But
yeah, I mean, who's going to be better at 4,300? Paris Campbell, no. Nico Collins, no. Like, I don't know. What do you guys think? We could also do Adam Thielen and
I think Paul with a great
Komet, dude. Just hammer Komet again. Another 2 touchdowns.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
No.
All right. Actually, if we have what's our salary left right now?
4K, 4,100.
Oh, damn it. I was ready. Oh, no. What about Njoku? I like Njoku. And
we can get off of this.
Njoku's a run back.
Yeah, if we don't have one, might as well.
Yeah, dude, come on, dude. Open the third eye, baby.
Yeah. So then you got Thielen and CD. We like that, or
Yeah. Oh, this is fire. What does that leave us for salary?
2,700 for a defense.
Can we get
You don't
off
like
the
the Raiders?
Raiders?
Who are you going? Yeah, who do you want to? There's a bunch of other really good defenses this week.
Bears, man. I don't know.
Yeah, Bears. Screw it.
Right? I guess like the turnover is probably unlikely against Atlanta, right? Because they just
Did you see Mariota on last Thursday's game? He was just chucking it all around.
That's true.
Bears or Lions, maybe.
If everyone's playing the Raiders, I also think like at some point Denver scores points, right?
No.
But like if
Yeah,
they were gonna
probably.
do it, it's on this team where their quarterback's crying after the games, right?
Yeah. God damn it, I hate the Raiders.
I know. The Raiders have been such a bummer this year.
Yeah. Okay, I think this is enough of building. We'll maybe circle back on this after.
Great
think?
point.
Let's
Yeah, I
talk
think we
Rumble.
should just
We got
just apologize to the viewers that this week in gross.
Garbaggio.
Should we pivot to a little Rumble action?
Yeah,
we're
I'm down with
quiet
that.
in the all day streets, so there's not much to talk about there.
Let me just double check too to see if
that didn't sell out.
Yeah, seriously. No playbook. Let me just double check one thing here. Not a lot of news coming out at the inactive, just that Mark Andrews is going to play and then like some defensive stuff that I don't give a shit about. So there you go.
Okay. Yeah, Gus Edwards is out, so now I think we're playing Kenyon Drake and Cash, so that's fun.
Oh yeah, you think so?
I think so. That's what people are saying in the Discord. So
okay, all right, okay,
trust them.
I like that. Yeah. Well, damn it, that sucks. There goes my sneaky Kenyon Drake. Kind of which Edwards didn't play.
There we go. Richie Vegas just giving out free stuff. Says this is your money line parlay, guys. Steelers, Bears, Jets pays 15-1. There you go, Richie Vegas.
I bet the Steelers and Bears to cover.
Dude, fucking Pat's gonna win by 15.
Yeah, I don't feel good about that. But...
all right, yeah.
Okay.
Take us through some Rumble.
Let's dive into some Rumble action here. So we've got. I think the thing that's worth talking about is the Jolly Joker contest, obviously, because you've got multi-entry, and there's a little strategy involved, I think, with these contests. And so I think the sweet spot for maybe people watching the show, or if you bought 3 of them and you're in the field goal contest there, and you've got three shots at the extra point and stuff like that. And so in my opinion, the pool of people entered, which let's look at what these contests are right now. 1,100 in the extra point, 160 in the field goal, 47 eligible in the touchdown.
How many cash in that field goal one?
Field goal 100 cash. I think.
So you gotta beat a third of the field, is that right?
Yeah, you got to beat a third of the field to cash. Extra point, I forget if it's like 250 that cash or something. But so I think because the fields are going to be kind of small, and I don't think the fields are going to be incredibly sharp either. Just because like okay, if this style of tournament was taking place on a DraftKings or a FanDuel or whatever, where there's a bunch of people that play fantasy all the time and like get how this stuff works, I think it would make a little bit more sense to try to thread the needle a little bit better over the next 8 weeks. But in this style of contest, I think like I've heard some people like, okay, I'm gonna play 3 different stacks this week or 6 different stacks this week if you've got the entries into the touchdown. And then from there, whichever stack does well this week, I'm going to go try to play a little bit safer next week. Whichever ones do shitty, I'm going to go even crazier the week after and stuff like that. And I truly think that it's a little bit early to be doing that mindset. Like eventually you're going to want to take a couple swings on the lineups that have performed better or worse or whatever, and try to leapfrog up into the money there if you're trailing behind. And but I don't think that has to happen in like week 1 of 8. And so what I'm doing in the field goal is, or sorry, the extra point with my like 3 extra point lineups is I'm just basically playing like 3 iterations of the optimal. And what I'm basically banking on over the next like 4 weeks is I'm going to continue doing 3 versions of the optimal for 4 weeks straight, and I'm going to let like, I don't know, 30% of the field or 40% of the field like just kind of shoot themselves in the foot over this first half of the contest, and basically, because it once you get low in this contest, it's going to be hard to like come back, right? It's going to be
Right.
unless you like hit the nuts 2 straight weeks in a row or something. And
Right.
so,
You're basically trying to win a GPP at that point once you get down that bad.
right. And so I don't really think that I don't think it's necessary to try to perfectly thread the needle for 8 weeks. It is like the long story short. I think you can play it pretty safe for the first 4 weeks and then start thinking about some game theory type stuff for the last 4 weeks. So that's kind of my hot take there. And the other sorry, the other reason why I think it's a pretty important thing to look at is because, like, if you look at the season averages here, which if you're playing the same lineup for 4 weeks straight, like they're probably going to average roughly what your season average is, right? Or you're playing a really similar lineup, and there's just like some really clear tiers that have opened up this season, right? And so like Allen and Mahomes are pretty clearly above the rest of the quarterbacks, and obviously, Lamar, Hurts, and Fields have all showed that ceiling, even Burrow at times, even Tua a couple times. But I think just on a per average basis, Allen and Mahomes seem like the best plays to roll out 4 weeks in a row. And then running back gets a little bit more spread out.
Well, I was going to
And
share
there's
Weisberg's comment too. He says Henry should be in most of these entries, right? Given his 25 on Thursday night.
Yeah, so if this was, week 18, then Henry would maybe be an interesting conversation. But I think since it's week 1 of or week, the first week of the contest, I
Right.
think you do play it safe. I'm putting Henry in all 3 of my lineups this week and just banking on the 25. But then, like, I don't know, you see like some of these guys who are pretty much averaging like 20 points a game in Rumble, but it's a little bit more spread out here across the running back board. And so I'm fine kind of doing like multiple different combinations of these guys, like, Barkley and Taylor and Eckler McCaffrey, Barkley McCaffrey, whatever, like just kind of switching it up there and letting the variance just happen over the next, few weeks. But then at like receiver, it's really, really condensed. We don't have Tyreek on the slate this week. And I think that's it, right? Cooper Kupp. I mean, shit, it sounds like he's out for
He's
probably out for the year, right?
Yeah. I think they said 4 to 6 or 6 to 8. So it's pretty much
6 to 8 this morning. So basically,
yeah, it's toast.
yeah. So like, I mean, if you look at the averages here, it's pretty clear like who's been, who's above and beyond, head and shoulders above. And so I think like you play Diggs and Jefferson every week, and then depending how you're feeling between like Adams, Amon-Ra, Hopkins could be interesting because this is the first week with his moment.
I'm very
And
fascinated to see like how many people roll him out and what that looks like.
Yeah. And so yeah, I mean, I think it's I think receiver is a little bit tighter pool for sure. And once Tyreek comes back, I mean, between Diggs, Jefferson, Tyreek, like I wouldn't feel a real big need to try to go elsewhere with any of those guys. And then like it's just going to be super clear like how much of the field is sharp or not this week when we just flip over the cards and we see what Travis Kelce's number is, right? Because like I guess Andrews puts a little bit of uncertainty into that. I'm assuming most people aren't going to play Andrews just because first week off the injury. But I mean, like if between Kelsey and Andrews, like it really should be 100% or like 95% of the lineup should have those 2 guys.
Yeah.
And I just don't think it's going to happen. I think Kelsey's going to come in at like 50%. It's going to be like, oh wow.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see what it looks like for week 1, which I think to prove or that hammers home your point even more is that playing it safe the first week makes the most sense. Like just give yourself a solid floor just so you have more information. And then if you find that everyone's doing that, then as you progress, you're like, okay, this is like, I don't even have to get that crazy because everyone's playing pretty safe. 1 or 2 moves immediately differentiates yourself. GLE says Christian Watson, though, does Watson have a moment on the platform?
He does. Yeah. He's got one and he's at 21. I mean, I think it's fine if you're playing it safe. Like I think like pretty normally Diggs and Jefferson are going to outscore 21. I mean, they're projected for over that in their median, right? And so just from a ceiling standpoint, I'd rather play Diggs and Jefferson. And this week I'm playing 3 running backs, I think, in all my lineups because of Henry. And so I'm just rolling Diggs, Jefferson, and then going back to the running backs instead. So yeah, I wouldn't be as stoked to get Watson in there, but like if you don't want to go buy a bunch of moments or you don't want to have, triple Henrys or whatever, then Watson's fine. Just to bank on that 21 floor, I think is good.
I would say though, if you're rolling out 3 lineups, right? If you're in one of those bigger contests, I don't hate throwing one in there. If you're like, okay, let me create a safe floor on one of mine where it's not going to burn you if someone goes for like 25. But I don't know if you run into a weird Diggs injury and Diggs is going to be like 60% owned or something like that, and then all of a sudden you're, leapfrogging,
Yeah, for sure.
Blaze threw a question out there too, saying, CD or Cook in your flex, where would you land there? I know you said you were a 3 running back guy.
Yeah. I mean, I don't ever really love playing Cook. And doesn't he still just have a rare?
Yeah, he still just has a rare.
Yeah, he still just has a rare. So like I'd probably want to play another rare besides Cook. So I'd probably go CD this week. I think he's got a better matchup. So I'd throw CD in the flex. The other thing that's going to be interesting, and on the Momentum Labs, like on these sheets, starting next week, I'll have some projections on, or not. I'll be tracking like what some of the differences are between the field goal and the extra point and stuff like that, and the touchdown, like where ownership differences were. That way, you can try to get in the weeds a little bit more on the specific contests and start scoping out the competition. But one of the things that I think we're going to see happen is people aren't really going to be willing to play a bunch of duplicates or aren't going to be really willing to go buy, 2 more Henrys for $20 each or whatever. And so so I just think like it makes a lot of sense to sit back for the first 4 weeks and let like other people make mistakes and drop their lineups out of contention and then reassess in week 15 or whatever on like, okay, how am I going to try to win this thing now that I have 3 lineups live or 6 lineups still live or whatever, versus what, another route that you could go is like, okay, I'm going to play a Hurts AJ Brown lineup this week, an Allen, Diggs, and a Mahomes Kelsey. And then your Hurts AJ Brown one kind of bagels, right? And or it doesn't do well. And so then next week you're like, okay, shit, like now I got to play like a Burrow and like a Chase coming off of injury because nobody's going to play him in my Hurts Allen one, right? Or in my Hurts AJ Brown one. And so now you run into 2 straight cold weeks of like, if Burrow and Chase don't do well next week, then it's like, okay, well, shit, like there's probably a good chance like that lineup's already dead after 2 weeks. If it plays out and like a bunch of people are playing the optimal for multiple weeks in a row, and so then I just think you're kind of taking on too much risk right now, trying to go off optimal, and I would be doing that towards the end versus the reward of staying closer to the optimal for these first few weeks is, there's no really huge reward, I don't think, of trying to hit an 8-leg parlay over the next 8 weeks and like perfectly, get every ceiling outcome from all these guys. I think you just want to try to condense your time frame a little bit on running that parlay. So I think that kind of I don't know if we want to dig into it too hard this week. I mean, we went high level through it. I think it was more important to talk through some of the strategy there.
How long have I been muted for a while?
Yeah.
Man, I don't even know how that happened. I don't remember clicking mute. Must have been when I was drinking water. No, what I was going to say, it reminds me a little bit of treating this kind of like a DFS slate where you're like, okay, I'm leaving myself some 4 p.m. action, right? So you're like, I want more information before I start making some risky or conservative moves. And that's how you're like treating these first couple of weeks in these 8-week Joker stuff. So there you go. Weisberg saying he said the rares are down to $21 on All Day, and then he said to put this in perspective, you could be a team hold VIP for a year or buy a rare, which has more utility. Which has more utility.
Yeah.
You're gonna think about. All right, guys, let's wrap there. I don't know, Joe. Any final thoughts you need to get out to the people? Anything that any fire take, except for the fact that it's Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown to the moon today?
Yeah, I don't know. Good luck. Have fun, I guess, and go USA.
Good luck. Have fun.
No, whatever.
Yeah, go USA. That's tomorrow, right? Tomorrow at like 2
Yep.
p.m. Eastern, I think.
Yep. And Friday against England. Yeah.
Yeah, Friday against England. Friday's gonna be fun. I was excited to fire up a playback for that, but they don't have the soccer rights, I don't think. So we're just gonna watch on our own. All right, let's call it. Yeah, John. Any like last fire take you need to get out to the people?
No, I don't think so. I think we covered it all. Good luck trying to figure out the DraftKings slate, and I think keep it simple here in Rumble if you're in the Joker stuff.
I'll just end it with that. I'm guaranteeing a cash today. Guaranteeing a cash for the trio. We haven't done it yet. It's literally almost December. It's almost Thanksgiving without a cash, and we're about to get hot. So we're out.